Oh yeah, December 2020 update. A lot of people asked if I could talk about electric vehicles, noticing that I've got an electric vehicle charger in the in the garage in a recent video. I thought about it. I thought, no, it's going to take too long. I'll put that in a separate one. So I'll do one of these that's just talking about cars. Now that, to a lot of people, will be incredibly boring. It might even be boring to me when I start on it, but there's a whole tale there that explains how I ended up with an electric car charger in the garage. And it goes back like a couple of years or so. I'll talk about all that. I've got a whole thing about cars. I've got a bit of a, it's not an obsession, but I've got an interest in cars, but in an unusual way, in that I don't like any of them, but I used to. It's a long story, we'll go into it. So cars another time. I also thought in the next one of these, if I do the cars thing, because that's going to be like a real turn off for a lot of people. Not that these videos are monetized or anything, it's not about that, it's just I don't want to put something out there everyone's kind of bored with. So I think in the other, I'll try and split that one into 2 hours. Maybe we'll talk about which was the best performing video of the year, and the worst, and try and figure out what's the theme there. We'll never figure it out. Nobody knows. It's completely random. Just to give you an example, the last 2 videos, the chocolate record, very successful for me anyway. Very successful. It's got over 200,000 views so far. So for me, that's very successful. And then the video after that, the twinkly Christmas tree lights video, terribly unsuccessful. It hasn't even paid for the flipping Christmas tree. Now, I know that's kind of not, you'd think, oh, you bought a Christmas tree anyway. Truth is, I wouldn't have bought that Christmas tree at that price if I didn't think, oh, I could make a video about this and it'll pay for it. Well, it hasn't paid for it. It's paid about half of it so far. So fingers crossed that one kind of over time improves. It might be a perennial classic. Maybe next Christmas comes around, someone starts searching in October for Christmas tree lights, that video pops up. Who knows? But yeah. But when you think about it, those 2 videos in my head, quite similar things, but one, well, I mean, one's a chocolate record, one's Christmas tree lights. But, you know, it's around about Christmas. They're both kind of pointless, they're irrelevant. But I can see, like I mentioned before, when I had prison tech, which people know what that is in 2 words, chocolate record, again, very clear, very easy to understand. So that's, it's the subject matter's the thing, of course. Twinkly Christmas tree lights, not interesting Christmas tree. But anyway, so I went from what for me was a successful video to possibly the least successful video of the year in the space of 2 weeks. And to me, they took like similar amount of time to put together, maybe, you know, a little bit different between the 2, but overall in my head I'm thinking, oh, these are about the same kind of thing, you know, do all right. So one's good and one isn't. Right. So anyway, that's all going to be in the end of year stuff. I'm kind of foreshadowing it now, although I haven't even looked at the stats, to be honest. But I think I know what the most successful one is this year, by a long way. I might have just mentioned it, but anyway. Right, I wanted to start off. I say start off. We're way into this now already. First off, is that light's on that screen, isn't it? Oh, that's annoying. Hold on. I hate the reflections. That's a. Is that? That's a bit better, isn't it? The only reason the screen's behind me here is because I didn't put it away. It's not going to do anything. There's going to be no exciting things on it. But you know this space that I've got over here, I might put the odd thing up in there and I might cut some stuff in. I haven't done it with the switcher this time. I just didn't set it all up because I thought, well, I don't know if it's unnecessary because I had a few clips and things that were videos that I was going to insert into this. I can't really do those with that very successfully without pressing a load of buttons. And I thought, well, if I'm editing it anyway and sticking a load of things in, might as well not bother trying to do it live. Just do it all in post. Oh, I sound like a professional now, don't I? We'll do it in post. Yes, well, I was going to talk about tech to start with. Last month or so, very expensive as far as tech goes for me, but it's all been building up over time. I bought a new Mac Mini, you know, the M1 Mac Mini for the editing. Now I said, oh, Apple fanboy. No, I'm already in the ecosystem. If you're in Windows, buy your Windows things. just as good, but you just keep going in the direction that you started off in, don't you? If I went all this into like everything's like talking to each other, stuff's on Mac, and I go, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to start with Windows. What a nightmare that would be. Equally, if you were Mr. Windows guy and you get all your flow and your business and everything in Windows, and you were like Mr. Windows, all the shortcuts and everything, and then all of a sudden, right, tomorrow we're going Mac, you'd be like, so just, yeah, you know what I mean, you just stick with what unless it goes horribly wrong for you and you think, that's it, I'm sick of this rubbish, I'm switching to Linux or something. But anyway, so I got a new Mac Mini. Now all my editing's done on a Mac Mini, and I bought about, it's, I don't know, 2-3 years ago now, I fully spec'd up the most recent Mac Mini, you know, load of memory, fast chip and all that in. And when I got it, I was underwhelmed by the performance. Not that I was going to play games and stuff, but just even exporting video and importing it, it just seemed to take a lot longer than I'd expect for something that I'd maxed out all the stuff on, you know. Now, over time, you'd probably be aware, because I'm some sort of hopeless amateur that hasn't got a clue, I edit in iMovie. I've tried other packages, I just can't get the flow. In iMovie I could do it. Oh, anything else, I'm like, hold on, oh, what's that drag? No, it's not work. Oh, put the help thing on. Oh, if you do this and you press, no, it doesn't work. You know, I'm like in tune with iMovie. There's a lot of things it can't do. But just for example, when I got this new Mac Mini, I spec'd it up with Final Cut Pro excrement, whatever it's called. So I've maxed out the internal memory, 2 terabyte SSD, blah, 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 all sorted out. And I thought, right, well, now I've got a bit of space. I can put Final Cut on here, because I couldn't really fit it on the other one and have 2 workflows and all that. And I spent a bit of time, I spent a couple of days playing around with it, trying to edit. It was a simple video. It might even have been the chocolate record video or something, but I thought this will be a simple one to start off with. And I was pulling my hair out, and there was a lot of things it wouldn't do. And I wanted to do a bit of stuff with green screen, which I'll explain maybe later on. But it didn't work how I wanted it to. Load of settings, like 6 million sliders and buttons on, off, and whatever I did, it looked crap. iMovie, drag, drop, bing, perfect. So that's where I'm at with iMovie. So I've been using iMovie for years. But the problem is that it went to heck on the old Mac Mini that I got when I'd spec'd it. The database was kind of corrupted somehow. There were a lot of dead files in there, dead projects and things. When you try and delete them, it deleted them, and then next time you load it up, it says, "Oh, your database is corrupted," and we'll try and recreate your database. Recreates it, puts them all back again. These useless kind of dead. I mean, hard disk was filling up, and whatever I deleted, it seemed to not really help. So I thought I could either reformat the old thing, start all over again, which should be a nightmare, because that's where I work, or I'll buy another one, but I'll buy the M1 thing this time, keep the old one as well. So I've got all my old files on there, I can revert back to it, I can copy stuff across. If necessary, I could just carry on working on that one, because it did work fine. It was just, there was a lot of weirdness going on. Or I could start the new one. So I've got my new one, and I've been editing on that one since. But during the process of it, I ended up looking in a spam folder for some reason, which is something you never do, is it? I mean, who goes looking in a spam folder? I should do it more often, because quite often there's stuff that's ended up in there that it just assumes is spam, when really it's like a mailing list that I was half interested in. But I found a brilliant spam message just in I think they delete every few days, so I just caught this one before it went. I know there's billions of alternatives available, but this one was the one I read when I looked in there, and it just made me laugh at its complete incompetence. I know, again, everyone's going to say, well, they're supposed to, there's a theory that they're done badly deliberately, so that the only people who fall for them are gullible idiots, which are the people who want to fall for them. I know all this stuff. I just want to share this little one with you, that's all, because it kind of amused me with its level of incompetence. So it says here, "Hi, how are you today?" Now that you're never going to start off with that. Hi, how are you today? Well, I'm fine, thanks. Oh, well, it's a one-way message. "I am diplomatic agent Mr. James Mike. I have arrived here in JFK International Airport, New York." Oh, that JFK International Airport. "With your ATM card worth $10.8 million. is my ATM card worth $10.8 million? And also in the UK, we don't call them ATM cards. I don't know what we call them. Debit cards, banking cards, something. We don't call things ATM over here. You might get younger people doing it because they've seen it on telly and they think that's what people say. We don't. You say cash point a lot. People say you say cash point. I've never said cash point. Hole in the wall. That was a phrase that people use. More older people. I'll get out of the hole in the wall. I'm a nightmare for saying switch. When you do a debit card transaction, a banking card at a cash, a till. In the past, I've said, "Oh, do you take switch?" Now, switch is what it used to be called, like in the 80s and 90s or something. And I still accidentally say it every now and then. And I've seen people at tills look at me like, "What? Switch?" I've got, yeah. Anyway, talking of which, since tangent world, since this pandemic event, I have not typed in a single PIN number because I've got the old Apple Watch. Oh, there he is. He talked about Apple again. He's so into Apple. Or you could wear your Samsung Watch or whatever. Alternatives are available. Just that's what I've got. But because of the limitless contactless amount, I was always doing like up to 30 quid with a contactless card, but since the pandemic thing, I thought, I best start using this. And I never really got into it for double click, bing, and I thought the first time it did it for like 60 quid, I thought, oh, that's good. And I haven't touched a single PIN number since. So that's been, I don't know, is it a positive? It's been a change, and it's something I'm not going to go back to. A lot of people saying things that have happened because of this. There's going to be changes that then don't get reverted once it gets resolved. And that'll be one for me. I'm going to be bing, bing at everything from now on. But yeah, anyway, so let's carry on with this. So we don't call them ATM cards, but apparently my ATM card is worth 10.8 million US dollars. I don't know why it's worth any dollars. Wouldn't it be worth pounds? Oh, I know, it's just a general thing. But I need to hear from you urgent because I receive another address from this woman by name, Mrs. Virginia Tanner, and she told me you have authorised her to receive the ATM card for you because you are very ill now. Is this the truth? Let me know. They've lost me. I'm confused already. So I'm not going to try and explain because I don't know. Did you send this woman called Mrs. Virginia Tanner to receive your ATM card worth 10.8 Mus dollars? They've started using MUS, but like with a small US. Weird. From me. Also, I want you to send me $100 for the airport clearance certificate. Remember, I was sent from UPS Courier Company Director. But it says he's diplomatic agent. All right. Remember, I was sent from UPS Courier Company Director to make delivery of this ATM card to your house address. So if I did not hear from you urgent, I will complete this delivery to Mrs. Virginia Tanner. Oh, no, don't give Virginia Tanner my $10.8 million ATM card. Please, no. I wait for your urgent response. Did you send... Oh, it's going back in round in circles. Did you send this woman called Mrs. Virginia Tanner to receive your ATM card worth 10.8 buzz dollars from me? Diplomatic agent, Mr. James Mike, and I've got his phone number. Amazing. Terrible, these things, aren't they? It's like, if you can't be arsed being a proper con artist, give up. I'm adding a bit in here, which is unusual for one of these kind of videos, but I realise, looking back at that I've kind of buried the lead, because this whole thing about your ATM card being worth $10.8 million, well, it isn't worth anything, is it? It's a piece of plastic. It's access to your own bank account. So what they're saying here is, I've got $10.8 million in my bank account. Brilliant. I might as well just pop down the bank now and draw that out. I don't need that card. I'll just cancel it and get this money out. It's someone who doesn't even understand how the banking system works. And he says, I have arrived here in JFK International Airport. So this guy stood there and he sends me an email. I mean, I read it like 2 weeks later. Is he still there now? Is James Mike still at JFK International Airport, New York, holding this ATM card that he thinks is worth a lot of money, and I've cancelled it? I know it's not real. There's loads of other cons out there that are like this. But this one just seemed particularly inept at understanding how anything worked. That's really why I wanted to share it with you. Anyway, back to the video. Another thing that swapping the computers did, apart from making me look at weird spam, was fix the intro a bit. You might remember, well, you won't do, I barely do, but about 4 videos ago, I put out one of the videos, and I knackered up the intro. What's supposed to happen is that there's the animation where it zooms around the room with a wireframe that I nicked off an old VHD, and then I've got a circle wipe that opens while I appear. Well, I have to add the circle wipe, and it has to be the right length and stuff. It's about 0.8 seconds, and to fit with the O when it zooms in. Well, what I accidentally I forgot it, so I just went straight from one thing to the other. And somebody said, "Oh, your intro was a bit messed up," and I thought they were talking about something I'd said, and I hadn't really noticed till about a week later when I was looking back at something. I thought, "Oh, I've knackered the intro," and it went live, and nobody noticed. So it shows you nobody cares. It was only like a fraction of a second. But when I've got this new computer, I'm copying all the stuff across. Now, the original intro on the old Mac Mini was a load of different elements. There was the wireframe, there was like a green screen on top of it, there was a zoom in, there was because I don't really have the tools to do it, I was using loads of things that shouldn't do it to make that intro. Well, on the new one, I thought I just want it as a video file so I could just plonk it at the start. So I was working on exporting it as a video file that I could then import into this new computer and use each time just as a straightforward intro. And while I was doing that, I was looking at it thinking, you know what, I don't like it. There's a problem with it because I'd sort of rushed it a little bit, but I was doing all I could. When it zooms in and the Techmoan logo comes out of the television, that's in widescreen. But the rest of the video is, of course, off an old VHD, which was in 4:3 aspect ratio. So the overlay on it is really quite poor. I'll just show you now. So I started playing about with this, and that was one of the things I started thinking, oh, I'll put this in Final Cut Pro X, whatever, because that'll be a lot better. And that's where I fell into all those problems with the green screen and the overlays, all that. And it was just like a nightmare. It reminded me if you went into like a recording studio and there's one of those big desks there and all those people have those little knobs to twiddle and there's 100 buttons on the wall and someone says, right, just record yourself saying hello everybody and then just give me the tape later on, we'll leave you to it, bye. And you're like, what? Huh? And you're looking around like that. Now obviously if you had a tape recorder, you press record and play hello everybody, stop, there you go, I've got it on a cassette. But when you've got too many things, you're like, well, I don't know what's all this stuff. So that's how I felt when I got into Final Cut Pro. So I thought, go back to iMovie. But I ended up fixing it because I then squashed the VHD image to 16:9 so that then my pop-out bit would fit in the television aspect ratio because it was also squashed, so it's the right screen size. And then once I did that, I realised it was popping in too late, so I ended up adding in a couple more elements in it and a faded one that then zooms in. So I'll show you now the original and then the fixed version, which nobody's noticed apart from me. Attention to detail is weird, isn't it? And then after I've shown you those two, I'm going to show you them both in slow motion so you can see exactly what the differences are. But what this will mean is when you look at it, you'll realise that it's all a bit shoddy anyway. But it looks better now, trust me. So here we go. So you'll never be able to look at that again without seeing the joins now, but that's one of the reasons I sped it up, to be honest. I'm so quick, you don't get to see it. But also I didn't want a big long intro. No one likes these big long intros at the start of a video. It's annoying, isn't it? So it's like, it's as quick as I can do it while sort of making myself like the name pop up and things, people know what they're watching. Right, anyway, a couple of things back here. I don't know if I'm the last person to know about these on the planet. It seems like I might be, but you know, I did the video about the VU meters, and one of them had a really bright, it's over here somewhere, but it's under a load of junk, so I'm not going to get it. Had a really bright LED on it, and I put a bit of tape over it. Do you remember, like in the middle, it was a green LED or something, I think. Anyway, quite a few people said, you should use light dims. Now, have I got any more about that? Yeah, I'd never heard of light dims, but it's such an obvious idea. I don't know why I hadn't. So, light dims. I'll put them up there so you can see them. So these are various sizes. Try and get the reflection off it. These are various sizes of opaque dots and squares and things. I'm trying to get it in there. So you can stick those over annoying LEDs. And they sent me a sheet. They said free gift. This is medium strength, and then this is light dimming sheet, a cuttable one. I don't know what original strength, whatever. Yeah, there's different dimnesses. This like original strength dims 50 to 80% of light. Doesn't say how much that dims, but I'm sure you could work it out. Probably like 30 to 50. But you get the idea. You got an annoying LED. Stick some of this over it. Cut it to your own size. Do what you want with it, and it'll dim it down. I thought that's a really just a basic but a good idea. Yeah, you can put tape over it. You can do anything. But these still let some of the light through at varying levels. So that annoying LED, but the LED you need to know what colour it is, so you know what the status is. You can just dim it down on things like modems and on your bottom of your telly and on your set-top boxes and all sorts of stuff. Now, the Light Dims people said, we are a small family-owned business, just my husband, 2 daughters and myself. And then they go on about, try and leave us a 5-star review and stuff. Well, I don't do reviews like that, but I just wanted to share with you, if you haven't been aware of Light Dims in the past, which I wasn't, that they exist now. They're sold from the USA, from this little small family thing, and but you can buy them from Amazon in the UK. It take a while to ship, but not as long as they say. It said, it'll take up to like 16 years or something to arrive. And it took a couple of weeks or whatever. So yeah, I've got those now, so I'm really glad about that. And while I was looking around here, I just remembered, I got the remote for my JVC. Oh, I've got to remember a lot of numbers and names. RCM90, is that right? Anyway, the tape player. That was, well, I won't mention the name because people don't like it. So I've got fast forward, rewind, stop and record on here. Oh, and record, mute and pause. Let's try pause. And then, does I press it again? No, press play. Yeah, so there you go. So I finally got that. That was from auctions in Japan. Massive long lead on this thing. You could get a good distance on that. Now, if you imagine you had your radio down on the pavement, you had your microphone, and you were like doing some PA type thing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, and then you'd like get your tape play. So you got everything you need there, haven't you? Dead expensive, these in the US, and you don't see them in the UK. But when you look on eBay auctions, people are asking a few £100 for these. I found this one. It might not be the exact one for the machine. This is the R30. It was very hard to find out which was the right one for the machine, because everyone's going, well, this one works, but this one doesn't, but this one's got buttons on it that some of them work, some of them don't. So anyway, I got the Victor, which matches my Victor, R30, and perfect mint condition, and it was like 30 quid or something in Japan. So that was, I got lucky there. Right, moving on. It's all happening here, isn't it? It's exciting, this, isn't it? Oh, I want to just have a look at some stats. This is kind of end of year stats, but I'm not going into the proper numbers. I've got one of these on my iPad, so I just want to bring it up so I can see it, and I'll stick it over here somewhere. I might even just bring it in on top. They sent me like an end of year stats type of thing. Everyone on YouTube, presumably, who's got like a YouTube channel that has subscribers and things, gets one of these. Your year in review. They didn't do that horrible video this year, did they? But this maybe is the alternative. So they sent me this slide here. Actually, this is a tall one, so this will go nicely in there. You kept in touch with your YouTube community by responding to 18,679 comments. See, people say, oh, you don't respond to comments. I responded to 18,000 of them. Your channel had quite the year, received a Gold Creator Award. Yeah, what we get, whatever the next one is. I've seen that behind me, 1.06 million or whatever it is. I mean, I look at the stats, I think it's another 10 years before I'd reach 2 million. I'll be dead by then. Anyway, 2020. Oh, people go, no, you won't. Don't say that. No, trust me. If I'm not, you get your money back. The 2020 feel good moments. Yeah, so 18,600. Now, I've got to say, some of those comment responses, I might have been a bit blunt. Not rude. Well, yeah, occasionally, but there's a lot of bizarre comments that you get, and some of them I just can't resist responding to. But I'll tell you one thing that happened recently. There's like, I almost feel like I must be so. You've probably seen like Derren Brown, the mentalist, hypnotist type. Not really, but and other people like that, magician type people who can, put words into your mouth, make you think of things, all that kind of stuff. Just manipulate you. I often feel that maybe some of the things I say work like that unintentionally, because I did the video about the chocolate record. It's 8 minutes and odd long, and I looked at the amount of talking in it, and before the record appears and gets played, it's about 4 minutes or 5 minutes or something of talking. So within those 5 minutes, there's a bit of information being passed across, but the number of people that missed a very important section out of those 5 minutes and then commented on it has confused me in a way. So I've got a feeling that I must have a way of just making people like blank out or forget time or not listen to me, because a load of people said, you should have put it in the fridge before playing it. You should have put it in the freezer before playing it. Why didn't you put it in the fridge before playing it? It would have sounded better if you'd have put it in the fridge before playing it. Right? Getting on for 30 of those. Now the thing is, in the video, there's a bit before I play the record when I say this. I've actually put this record in the fridge for a little bit this morning, just to make it a little bit harder. So yeah, people kind of missed that completely. And so all I did as a response to the people that said you should have put it in the fridge, I give them the timestamp. I can even remember it. 3 minutes 42, so type 3:42. 3:42 is the answer to it. And if they click on that, it takes them to the bit where it says, and I put it in the fridge to make it a bit harder before playing it. Now, a couple of things there. So we've got everyone, well, not everyone, 30 people. I mean, it's a considerable number that watched it and then thought, he didn't mention anything about the fridge. Why didn't he mention the fridge? And then go into the comments and go, oh, you didn't mention the fridge. And it's like, but I did. And they go, oh yeah, you did. So what's going on? Like, to go from the step of just passively watching something to then commenting on it, but also pointing out something that you've done wrong, even though you haven't, is a weird, it's like a big arc there. And I don't get how a lot of these things happen, Which is why I go on about that. I must have some way of making people black out, forget time, lost time, as those alien people used to. Oh, he's got 6 hours of lost time. All he was doing, he drank a bottle of vodka, he drove his truck into a ditch, and then after that, 6 hours of lost time, and he found himself on the road with his pants round his ankles, those kind of things. Anyway, so that was one of the things. I was mentioning a load of responses to comments. If you type 3:42 as a response to a lot of comments, well, I did that 30 times. Every time I go in on that video, I just have a look in on the comments to see if anyone else has mentioned you should have put it in the fridge, and they have, and I've typed 3:42 at the top. The thing is, I also don't get why people are obsessed with, like, saying it would have sounded better if you should have tried this. It's a chocolate record. The funny thing is that you could hear anything on it at all. That's the miracle. People are like, oh, maybe if you'd have done this, or maybe if you... What do you mean, maybe if I'd have done anything? You can hear a chocolate record. That's like a Christmas miracle. You can hear music from a chocolate, and you can tell what the tune is as well, without anyone telling you, oh, this is a tune. In fact, there was one guy that said, the tune is... Well, I'll put it on the screen. Why? Why put that on there? Comments are so weird. But anyway, yeah, so everyone was obsessed with it, making it sound better. It sounded fine. It sounded 1,000 times better than it had any right to sound. So I don't know what they're expecting. Now, over the past few videos on these Patreon ones, I thought I'll do a bit of a chat about comments, bizarre comments, because I find them amusing, I find them interesting and intriguing. Like I say about the lost time aspect, stuff like that kind of goes around my head thinking, Wonder what happened there. Wonder what happened to 30 people to make them miss that section. And yet they still... Anyway, so these things happen all the time. And I've wanted to talk about them. But every time I've done a section on this, in the most recent updates, I've tried it about 5 times, I've deleted it because I've thought people will think I'm being mean-spirited, because there's a lot of people that are so sensitive now. They've got paper-thin skin. Well, they're less thinner than paper. That kind of Chinese rice paper stuff that you get around prawns. That, that see-through white one, not the crispy one. It's kind of slightly crispy, but, But people, like, that level of kind of anything you say is like, you've offended me and my family all the way back to caveman times type of thing. So you've got to be very careful now. But I just wanted to bring up, these are amusing to me. These aren't upsetting to me. I find them intriguing. And in finding things intriguing is what this is all about. That's what we're talking about. So here's a comment I found slightly interesting. I can't believe you say 2020 is the best year ever. It's been awful. But that was from a video not too long ago, a few weeks, where I mentioned, in 2020, also known as the best year ever, blah, 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 then carried on with it. Little joke at the beginning, lighten the mood a bit. Oh, this is a nice one. You don't care about helping anyone, you greedy bastard. Now, I've got no idea where that came from, just out of the blue. I mean, what's that? Somebody just... what have I done? Greedy bastard, what have I done? I don't know what I've done at all. It was just under some video, like... I know, it's just reviewed a boombox. It wasn't the JVC, it was like a Philips or something, one of those. And I saw that... you just see stuff, and it was like a few months after the video, and I'm thinking... don't know what I've done, but they're not happy. Now, here's a comment, an amusing one. Well, it amused me anyway, because... You remember the video about the pocket records, little flexi discs? I did the whole story about how it was Barclay in France who got them, and there was Toshiba in Japan, and that there was the version that was invented in the US, and they went on trial in Detroit at the end, but they'd also been in San Francisco, I think, or was it Seattle, I think they were in. Yeah. So anyway, there was this whole story about who they came from, where they went, US and Japan, and then this comment comes in. Never heard of them. Was that just a United Kingdom item? I do have a couple of mini CDs with 2 to 3 songs on them. What year were they popular? The whole story in the video was about where they came from, where they didn't come out, where they were supposed to come out. That was the video. That was the whole video. And this guy's watched the video, says, were they a UK thing? I'm not saying anyone's like nasty here, apart from the woman that says I'm a bad greedy bastard. Something wrong with her. But anyway, I often wish I hadn't responded to a lot of things, because a lot of things I kind of try and answer, but I just get really angry when I respond to them. You'll say, why didn't you do this? I'll say, well, the reason is this, that, and the other. I hate you and all. So you're thinking, oh, maybe I should have just left that and not responded. So once that's happened quite a few times, you're thinking, maybe I'm not even worth responding to questions. Okay, we'll break this up a bit now, because that was a heck of a long monologue about nothing. So in the video about the Christmas tree lights, one of the most popular things, well, one of the most regularly posted comments was, I wish you'd have shown the Union Jack. Why didn't you show the Union Jack? I wanted to see the Union Jack animation, blah, blah, blah. There's a reason why things aren't shown in videos. As any film director or editor will tell you, the reason they don't show certain things is because they weren't very good and they wouldn't add anything to it. Same with that. I downloaded the Union Jack or Union Flag. People get very upset about it. I don't know which one they want me to say, but just pretend I've said the right one. And I downloaded it. I pressed play. I looked at my tree. I thought, well, that's rubbish. In fact, here's the video of that moment. Now, would you believe it? There's a store for effects. So let's try one of these. We've got Union Jack. So download the effect, and we can put together a playlist of these as well. Congratulations, the effect has been downloaded. Play it now. Right, so this should look like a Union Jack. I'm going to come over where you are and have a look. Yeah, I'll have to take your word on that one. So there you go. For anyone that wanted to see that, your dream has come true, and you can now see why I didn't include it in the video. As I've mentioned in the comments a few times, it's not suitable for it. It's these animations you can download. You can just click download from the store. Not really suitable for a tree. If you got a load of those lights and strung them all along a fence, hundreds and hundreds of them, and then played that animation, it'd probably look pretty good. But it'd need a couple of thousand of bulbs or something. Not 600 bulbs on a tree when half of them are around the wrong side. So I didn't show it. Right, so I've got another extra video to show you here though, because just after talking about unseen footage, when I was shooting the video about the slide projector, I was talking about the box that it came in from Matti in Finland. There was a lot more to unboxing that projector from that wooden box than is in the video. And it was cut for length, and it was cut to keep the viewer interested in what was going on and talk about the narrative and not focus too much on a wooden box. But in the interests of giving you a bit of behind the scenes, bit of extra stuff, because this is kind of interesting in a way, but not really, kind of annoying as well, because I put a soundtrack on it. Here is the extended edition of me opening that wooden box. The eagle-eyed amongst you might have noticed the continuity error with the screws. We went from this many in this shot to this many in this shot. So between those shots there's a lot going on. Now, let me show you. I'll tell you what, the tolerances on this are incredibly fine. It's difficult to get it out. I don't know if he built the box around it. I've got a good feeling he did do. Let me just try to get this angle from the top here. Yeah, it's not coming out. There's a handle on the top and it just catches on the inside of here. So looks like I'm going to have to take some more screws out. Well, better safe than sorry, I suppose. The thing is, Matti isn't even a carpenter by trade. He's a AV technician, audio engineer. Presumably this is just a hobby. Certainly very good at it anyway. It's not budging yet. I think I'm tackling this from the wrong side. If I just take this this inner bar off here, then I'll be able to get it out. So just 5 more screws. I think if I just remove this last screw here, I'll be able to take this piece of wood out and then it'll slide out the front. Good job I charged my screwdriver up. Right, I think I should be able to remove this piece of wood from here now. Oh, you know what? I bet he's glued it as well. Okay, it looks like we need a full disassembly of this side though. It's still not budging an inch. Oh, he's definitely glued it as well. Okay, well, I don't really want to break it, that's the thing, but I'm running out of options here. Let's try tipping it up instead. Let me just move this. It's so close to coming out. No. It's so close, look. But there's a handle here, and it just won't go past this end part. I think I'm going to have to take off one of these sides because it's just not coming out. We'll get there in the end. Thank goodness for electric screwdrivers. Got quite a collection of wood screws there now. Let's try this again. Oh, come on. It's not. I can't get it. I can't get. Oh, we'll just have to. No. Oh. hold on. Oh, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Oh, it comes out if it's upside down. Oh, what an idiot. Right. Almost. Still a tight fit. Hold on. And it's out. I can start on the video now. Well done, Matty. It's like a puzzle box in the end, that one. So there you go, that was a behind the scenes. I don't mind showing stuff like this so much on Patreon if I've already shot it and it's something I could edit together like that, because it's kind of amusing in a way, and I wanted to share it. It isn't stuff that I wanted necessarily to cut, but it just was way too long if I'd have included any of that in the video. The edit I've done there has just been for Patreon. I was never intending to put it in the video like that. That's just something I've put together now. Originally, it was just one long shot of me messing around with that thing, or maybe a couple of shots from a couple of different angles, and it was just all sat there. And in the end, when I made the video, I just cut from the beginning to the end, really, just to get it over and done with. Right, so let me get down. I wanted to talk about, finally, I've got two little things at the end here. Subtitles. The last two videos I've put English subtitles on. Now, none use the YouTube auto-generated ones. This goes back a bit. There's been a problem. For some reason, YouTube hasn't been auto-generating subtitles for my videos. Don't know what it is, but it's happened on, say, the last couple of months or so. Get a lot of complaints. Why aren't you doing subtitles anymore? You should enable subtitles. Why have you turned off subtitles? I haven't done anything again. I'm doing the same thing I've been doing for 10 years. I make a video, I upload it. That's it. And then the subtitles, well, YouTube auto-generates them. They're crap, but they're better than nothing. You can kind of get the gist, I think. Now, I know there's people that do their own subtitles and do them, but those are people that use scripts generally. It's easier to do subtitles when you start off with a script, because you can cut and paste and do all that kind of stuff. I don't do a script, so the trouble is, I don't talk very well either. I have a weird way of talking where I'll run a sentence into the next sentence. So I'll do a sentence and I'll add on the first word of the next sentence, and then I'll pause, and then I'll continue with the next sentence. And it happens a lot. And I've noticed this from when things have tried to auto-generate subtitles. There's never a full stop. It's all a massive thing. And it gets very confused over the way I pronounce things as well, because of all the nasal issues, I think, and all sorts of stuff. And I mumble, and I'm not very clear, and I'm not precise in the way I talk, and I've got an accent, and it's these these speech-to-text things stumble over the way I talk horrendously. They'll get the odd word here and there. So if I go in, I've tried in the past to right, I'll go in and fix these subtitles and go in the YouTube editor. It just takes a day. Virtually 1 out of every 3 things is wrong on there, and it's just like, and I talk a lot. I talk quickly, which again it stumbles over. So, but by talking quickly, there's a load of text in there. It's not just like a little, and here's a scene of a field, and then a nice pause, and you go, and now the birds are flying over the field. Stuff like that you could get, but here's me going, like talking like it's an auction. It loses it, and then I have to type all that in. So I've let it do its auto thing and thought, well, that's about the best I could do, because I've tried to manually update it, and it's taken like a full day. And I'm thinking, well, how many people are even looking at these things? You get stats, and in the past it's been like 1% or something, and it sounds mean, and I'm always for accessible stuff and all the rest of it, but I just can't spend a day doing something for 1% of the viewers, or 0.8%, whatever it shows us, because I've got, say, 6 days in a week I'm working. I can't spend one of those on 0.8% of the viewers. It just does not make financial sense or logistical sense in the time thing. Anyway, a lot of people recently have mentioned software called, or this website called Descript. All one word, like Descript, but Descript. It's like you pay per month, and it will. It's really designed for podcasts, so that you can transcribe a podcast. You'll all talk to each other over Zoom or Skype, whatever it is, and at the end of it, you'll feed it into this thing, and it'll do a transcript of it. And it does some very clever stuff, because not only do you get a transcript of your podcast, that means you can then edit it. You can, if you delete a sentence out of the transcript, it'll delete the audio out of the podcast. But if you want to change something you've said the word blue and you meant to say red, for example, delete red, type blue in, and it'll say it using your voice based on what you've said previously. It uses a voice synthesis thing that replaces it with your voice. That's very clever. Now, the problem with that is I'm not an audio medium. I'm a video. So it doesn't replace the mouth saying stuff. So I can't bring it back into the video just yet. It'll also take out ums and ahs as well, which I do a heck of a lot of on a bad day. I'm the king of and ahs. I used it to get the audio from a video and put it into text. You can then export it back out as a subtitle file and put it on the videos. So I've tried this, and just as before, it hates listening to me. It's I'd say it's worse than Google at understanding what I say. But the benefit it gave me was, rather than having to edit within the YouTube silly editor, which is flaky, it took it all out of YouTube into this file. I can then edit it, put it back in the video, and I've done that on the 3M projector one, and I went back and did it on the chocolate record one. There are limitations with this, because I do like to re-edit videos sometimes after I've done them, when I realise I've made a mistake. So I've done it on a couple of videos, and then if somebody had come on Patreon on this last one, on this 3M projector, and said, oh, you know what, you said this wrong at this point, I'd have to delete the video, upload a new video, and then all my subtitle timings would be out completely, so it wouldn't have worked. So it's a complex thing. It also took about half a day to edit the subtitles, so it's probably not the solution to my problem. It's halfway there, and it's something that I've got to think about. But I just wanted to mention it. Our last couple, I've been trying this, but it's fraught with difficulty, and despite the fact that I'd really like it to work perfectly, just whiz subtitles on magically, it's the way I talk is not compatible with voice recognition software. So anyway, that was a big long talk about subtitles. Let's finish off. Last few of these, my friend Skip Intro has done those uploads of those VHDs of the movies, magazine things. The first one got quite a few views. The second one got half that many views. I've got a feeling this one will get half that. So I'm not sure if it's worth me doing any more of those. Sorry, him doing any more of those. I don't know why I said me. That was weird, wasn't it? But he tells me that this one, episode 3, he uploaded it after capturing a video off of VHD, and the whole video was blocked by there was loads of content matches due to the audio on these trailers, but I'll show you on the screen now. He sent me this image, that one of them was blocked by Michael McDonald, that song there. So everyone else was like, oh yeah, play my song and I'll just take part of the revenue from the video. Michael McDonald threw his toys out of his pram in a big strop and said, no, nobody's watching the video. Nobody, if you're going to play my music, nobody's allowed to watch it. So thanks, Michael. So Michael blocked the whole video. So all those other people who were going to make some money, which they weren't, but they were going to make some money out of it, can't make money either because of Michael McDonald's big strop. Yes, I know it's the music labels and all that. I'm just joking here. But you can delete audio and replace it with other audio on YouTube. So you can click and you say, I'll replace this audio, and then you can pick something out of the audio YouTube music library. So apparently Skip Intro replaced Michael McDonald's song with a plinky plonky version of Happy Birthday for absolutely no reason whatsoever other than it sounded terrible. And he sent me over the clip of the section that now has the new audio on it. So let me just show that to you.
Exit 63, please This is Billy Crystal, one of America's newest and hottest young comedians.
4763.
This is Gregory Hines, actor, dancer, and star of such highly acclaimed films as White Nights and The Cotton Club.
Best friends, and in our minds they've been best friends since like high school.
Yeah, so there you go. I'll have a link to Skip Intro's episode 3 of Movies Magazine. It's not the best anyway, that one. Maybe I should knock that whole thing on the head. He should knock that whole thing on the head, and he probably regrets buying another 6 or 7 VHD episodes of that series, because I don't know, it just doesn't seem to have any interest for anyone. I can understand why. I'm not criticising. I understand why. It's just, who cares? Movie trailers for 1980s films. But there you go. Anyway, there'll be a link to that at the bottom of here. But yeah, that's it for the moment. Now, as I say, anything I've forgotten here, I'm going to, I'll do the year-end roundup, and I'll also do the talking about electric cars and things. I'll do the old, I wish you a Merry Christmas, hope everything's great for you and all that. I'm not a Christmas guy. It doesn't have any effect on me. In fact, it usually makes me a bit depressed, gets me down, and I can't tell you why. Maybe it's just about that kind of another year over and what have you done, you know, that old John Lennon stuff. But what I'll say is, if you're a person out there that enjoys Christmas and it's something entertaining for you in your life, I hope you enjoy this one as much as you possibly can. Now, after Christmas, when I've got another few days, we'll do a bit of a year-end roundup, and we'll also have a look at we'll talk about the electric car thing, which is not very interesting, but it takes a long time to talk about. And that is it. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for all your support over the last year. Thanks for putting up with me when I've been in weird moods, because like anyone, I've got ups and downs and sidewayses, and I'm not 100% a lot of the time. But I'm sure we're all kind of trying to battle through our own individual things, one day at a time. And, you know, you get there in the end, don't you? There's always tomorrow to sort stuff out again, as long as you don't ruin things too bad. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and enjoy your time off if you are having any time off. And I'll speak to you again soon.